Do you ever feel like you are the black sheep? Perhaps it's around the office or with your friend group, or maybe even in your own family. Or do you ever feel like everybody else has access to a playbook of life that like has all the answers that for some reason you just don't have access to? Well, I ask those questions because they are very much questions that or feelings that I had throughout life. It was a very common reoccurring theme for me to feel like an outsider or feel like everybody else knew what was going on in my childhood, in my jobs, in my friendships. And I just want to let you know that you are not alone. My name is Lee Gall, and I am a speaker and a coach. And I'm here today to share my story so that you know that I am just a real person who has struggled throughout life. And if you relate to any of my stories or feelings, I want you to know that you are not alone and you are not broken, and there is a solution out there. To start, I feel like I have to give you a little bit of context around my childhood. And that was the fact that I always came across as being very confident. I had no issues getting on a stage and performing or speaking in front of a classroom, but yet internally, I was always struggling. I didn't feel confident with my grades or my body or my personality. I knew I was mediocre in sports and I was not the all-star of the team. I knew where I sat and I was quite aware from a very young age that I was not the best at a lot of stuff. And I think I struggled with that. And more importantly, I struggled with relationships. I saw the popular girls, of which I was not. And I think I just always kind of questioned what I was lacking and why I couldn't be them, and really struggled with how to relate to people and felt like there was a thing I was supposed to be. And often when I was around, girls or kids my age, I was almost fixated on how to be the thing that they wanted instead of just being myself. And as I grew up into high school and beyond, I avoided opportunities that involved me really being in certain groups because, for instance, my mom had suggested I join drill team because I danced for 13 years, so very logical suggestion. But I think looking back, I almost found that environment intimidating and saw 50 girls that I was going to struggle to fit in with. And so I did not try out for drill team and instead went the opposite direction and found the activity that only one person can do. And that was the high school mascot, of which I tried out and I got it. I had a great time, no regrets. But I think it just fed into this lone wolf, black sheep mentality that I had. And fast forward into adulthood and my careers, the message remained the same. My thoughts didn't change. And despite a lot of success in a lot of different roles, I always felt like I didn't fit in. And I would go to company meetings or national programs and I was there with everybody else and I was drinking the Kool-Aid and definitely a cheerleader. But inside, I just felt like they don't know that I don't belong. They don't know that I'm different. I mean, and that was something that I just carried with me and nobody would know. And I was always chasing these big accolades and going for the promotion or trying to accomplish the next big thing to be competitive or to win an award or whatever, because I think that in my mind, if I wasn't accomplishing something big, then I wasn't valuable and I couldn't find my worth in the day-to-day, that I was almost terrified of just the monotony of the actual job, because in those moments, I thought I was going to be found out. I was going to be the fraud, the imposter. And as long as I continued to do these big flashy things over here, no one would know that I actually couldn't function day to day, which was a lie. Like, I'm capable of doing jobs and maintaining roles and all of that. But yet, in my mind, I had convinced myself of that I was not worthy of being in that role or on that team. And so I just continued to chase all of these big accomplishments in avoidance of kind of the regular stuff. And frankly, what I felt in my professional career was also present in a lot of my relationships too, with friends as adults, that I felt like I didn't get it. I wasn't a part of that group. And I see now that that was just what I was telling myself. And had I stepped into those friendships and just been confident and been myself, it could have been very different. But instead, I chose to think that I was not like them or that they had it all figured out. And the word should is my 4-letter word. I have lived a life of shoulds, and that is something that stops now. And an example, for instance, is like the stupidest thing. So dumb. But it's like the big what to wear question was not fun for me. It wasn't like, ooh, what should I wear tonight? I can't wait to figure out. No, it was like dread. Like these women will all know what I should wear because it's this year, or this is in style, or it's this season, and everybody knows you don't wear this at this. Oh my God, like all the stupid rules. And so I didn't have fun with that. I actually dreaded that. And another area where should was a big one and still kind of is gift giving. And I'm over it now, but I used to hem and haw and walk up and down the aisles or stare at the online stores of, I should know what this person wants. I should know what pink is her favorite. I should know exactly what to get her right now. And instead, I would just freak out and not be able to come up with an answer. And again, so dumb because it is a gift. And I'm over here thinking to myself, like, how do I show this person that I really care? And they have no idea that in addition to this present that I give them, there have been hours of, grueling negative talk in my head over trying to get them the perfect thing. And the should is an absolute 4-letter word. But I mean, just to kind of continue in terms of part of other things that I noticed throughout my life was a lack of boundaries in a few ways. And this again was both professional and personal, where I'm assuming that somebody knows what to do in a situation. They should know. Well, then my assumption was that it had to be the other person because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm always wrong. I don't know what's up. And so if there was an opportunity, I defaulted. It was like, oh, they know. They can pick the restaurant, or they know how to do this. I should do it their way. Or, oh, there's an opportunity. They'll be more qualified for it. And there were so many times that I kind of handed over chances to do things or make choices, and I had abandoned myself to step into that. Or another area is, let's say I had made a choice to do something and someone questioned it and said, oh, Lee, why did you decide to do that? Well, they could have been asking for a few reasons. One is, maybe they just genuinely wanted to know, like, hey, tell me more. I'd like to learn. Or they could have had, ill intent, whatever. But regardless of the circumstance, I took it personally because that was my internal monologue. That was my narrative that I was always wrong. So for them to ask me why I made that choice was me projecting my internal monologue onto them. So immediately they're asking me, oh, why did you do that? And I'm like, oh, they think I'm wrong. Because again, that's what my mind was telling me. And the reality is that A, I assumed that, and I was taking things more personal than I needed to. But B, that would have been the perfect chance for me to step into owning my answer and say, well, actually, I'm so glad you asked. I did this, this, and this because based on my experience, that's what you do in these situations, and you're welcome because I did a great job. And maybe, if there was some constructive feedback, cool. I'm, not saying that I would always be right, but instead of even having that approach, I assumed that I was wrong and that they were calling me out for it. And there were so many times that moments like that happened in my life. And because of my negative thoughts and self-beliefs, I immediately defaulted to me being wrong. And I am here today to let you know that is not true. And those were all lies. And I have figured out a process as to how to overcome those negative self-beliefs. I have gone through a transformation and I am on the other side, and it is absolutely so liberating. And I am here to speak to anybody that has these internal struggles because we don't talk about it enough. And I want to be vulnerable, and I want you to know that this is my story and that those were very real feelings and thoughts that I have had, and yet they are all lies. And I am ready to leave my past in my past and move forward today with new reaffirming beliefs in myself and have a much happier, satisfying life. And I cannot wait to help you do the same thing in yours. So again, my name is Lee Gall. I am a speaker and a coach and absolutely passionate about helping others out in the world that have struggled with negative self-beliefs, help reframe their thinking so that you can go seize all of the opportunities that are available to you and have the happiest, most rewarding life ahead of you. So if you liked this video, please hit like, subscribe. I have more videos coming to help everyone that struggles with these feelings and thoughts. And I thank you so much for watching. I'm excited to go on this journey with you.